Welcome into Celtics post-game live presented by your New England Ford dealers and Ford trucks. Scal, Amina Smith here with you, and the Celtics fall to the Bucks in Game 5, 110-107. And Scal, what a sequence at the end of that fourth quarter. Plenty of emotions on the roller coaster, really, in this last quarter. Just what was your biggest takeaway from this game?
All right, the Celtics, all the way up until about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I don't know if I ever thought that they were going to lose this game.
Oh, yeah.
Every time, think about the Al Horford dunk. Every time that the Bucks made some type of move, the Celtics answered the call. Jason Tatum goes out in the third quarter. Jaylen Brown answers the call. That's all going along. But the fourth quarter, you could see some things start to unfold. More isolation, more walking the ball up the floor. And I get it, Amina, you do that in the NBA. Mm-hmm. You walk the ball up in the NBA at the last couple minutes. You know, you want to make sure you're getting the ball into your stars' hands and make plays. But I just felt like they took their foot off the gas way too early. The point in which you want to do that, last 2 minutes of the game. You don't want to start limping into your offense with 6 minutes to go. And remember, the Bucks are not going to be affected by this situation. Giannis, Bobby Portis, Holiday, now even Connaughton. These guys have been in the NBA Finals, and they kept coming. They kept hitting the offensive glass, and the Celtics, I felt like they downshifted way too early and kind of limped their way to the finish, hoping that the clock would run out as opposed to going to win the game. And I think that was the difference in the fourth quarter.
Well, let's take a look at how it all went down in that fourth quarter, starting with that Al Horford dunk. Let's just take a look at it right now. And just like you said, it seemed like they kind of took their foot off the gas. Jaylen Brown putting the shot up, and then Al Horford with the putback with the offensive rebound. Then Giannis, he's going to hit a three. When we get it, Giannis hitting the three right here. Only his second three of the game.
And that was a big shot.
That was a big shot for the Bucks.
It was going to be over at that point. But then the turnovers, which the Celtics did a good job throughout the game, really killed them in the fourth quarter.
And then Jrue Holiday hits the three, ties it up. And then this is where things get dicey. Jason Tatum gets fouled, and then he gets two at the line. And then Boston, they lead 107-105. And then there's a lot happening. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is the key to the game. It came down to a free throw line blockout. There's a lot of ways to lose. Those ways, like turnovers late in the game, free throw line blockouts, those kill you.
And then you have Marcus Smart right here. Jrue Holiday, the defense that Jrue Holiday was playing in the final minutes of this game.
Amina, not just the final minute. I thought Jrue Holiday was the best player on the floor today. He made every play that he needed to make, offensively, defensively. He made big shots early, set the tone. Holiday, I thought, was the best player on the floor.
And then we take a look at how this tape unfolds. And really, Jrue Holiday is the story of the final minutes of this game. Defensively, he stepped up. But where did the Celtics go wrong in the fourth quarter in these final minutes?
I think it was the downshift right around that 4.5 minutes. You know, they could have kept playing fast, getting the Bucks in rotation. So the Celtics go small. And so you want to point to the 17 offensive rebounds for the Bucks. The Celtics go small. And small is only beneficial if you move the ball and put teams in rotation. If you go small and you downshift, then you might as well just play big at that point, because what you're trying to do is get the Bucks in rotation. With the Celtic roster that they have, when you drive kick, you're going to get open shots. You're going to put the Milwaukee Bucks on skates. You want to put Bobby Portis and Giannis in closeout situations. And if you go small, you can't play slow. You got to pick one. They went slow and small, and they got busted on the offensive glass, and then the turnovers, no point at time could they get back and set their defense.
Let's take it back to that third quarter, because coming out of halftime, we said that that was going to be the key for them to come out in that third quarter with energy, because they've fallen flat in the third quarter in previous games. What did they do right in the third quarter to help set them up to maybe potentially they should have won this game?
Yeah, I love the way that they played. There was a big moment in the third quarter. So they start the game out. I like the ball movement, making a few shots, answering the call every time the Bucks got close. But the main key, if we would have won this game, I would be giving Jaylen Brown a ton of credit. Jason Tatum goes to the bench with Al Horford. I look at this moment this is a big moment for the Celtics. So you got Tatum and Horford on the bench. Jaylen Brown steps up big time, makes shots, got hot. hot, got the crowd involved, build that lead to 14 points. At that point, you bring Tatum back, Brown's resting. Everything is going well. They bring Brown back in the fourth quarter, and that's when I thought they downshifted. They should have shifted into overdrive with that small unit, should have got the Bucks in rotation, should have wore them out. And those are all things that they did not do in the last 4.5 minutes of this game.
So when you talk about going small in that fourth quarter, is it just the pace of the game in the fourth quarter that wasn't to your liking where that cost them the game?
Yeah, like anytime if Jason Tatum's bringing the ball, he hits the paint, he kicks it. Like small means skill. Small means shooting on the floor. Shooting means space. But playing slow allows the Bucks just to rest, sit there in your driving gaps. You take away your drives, you take away your space, you take away your shooting. So I like the move of going small. You had White, Horford, Tatum, Brown, and Smart. I love the lineup. I think that's a great closing lineup, but you can't play slow at that point.
Yeah.
You got to go. You got to go get them in rotation. And I just felt like they downshifted at the wrong time a little bit too early with the small lineup, and then they got pounded on the glass.
And it seemed like the Bucks, like they smelled blood in the water towards the end of that fourth quarter. Just what were they able to exploit towards the end of this game?
Fourth quarter turnovers, took advantage of that. Obviously, we got to understand the background here, right? Like, these guys have been there before. They've been into NBA Finals games. They've gone on the road in Phoenix and won a Game 5. Like, this is not a team that's afraid of the moment. Holiday, you could tell. Giannis, you could tell. There were points in time where Giannis got caught up, the offensive fouls, but he just kept coming. Guys like Bobby Portis. I think what Coach Budenholzer did, these are the guys that are the most mentally tough guys that we have. And I'm going to play them, and I'm going to roll the dice with them. And that's exactly what they did, and they figured it out. And being a confident team that's never going to, quit, there's a big part of that. And a lot of that has to do with Giannis and his personality. But we showed the highlights. Giannis not a three-point shooter, but he's a gamer. That ball finds him late in the game. He knocks down that big three, and all of a sudden we're tied up. And the Celtics are scratching their heads saying, wait a minute. We had a 14-point lead. We did everything right all the way up until that 4.5-minute mark.
Yeah, well, it seems like that championship pedigree that the Bucks had, that it showed up at the end of this game. All right, let's send it out to Abby Chin, who's with Ime Udoka right now.
Ime, simply, what happened at the end there?
We gave up a few offensive rebounds, especially off the free throw area. They hurt us. 17 offensive rebounds for 20-second chance points, and you got Antetokounmpo at the line. He's not a great free throw shooter. We got to find bodies on bodies and come up with that ball.
What was the message?
And keep your heads up and just show our character. We made it tougher on ourselves now, and this will make it even sweeter. Show our character, show our resolve, and we missed a golden opportunity, but for 3.5 quarters, outplayed them. Got a little stagnant at the end offensively and gave up some big threes late. But overall, the game that shouldn't have been that close.
Bucks had 2 30-point quarters in the second half. Defensively, what broke down?
Transition early, especially in the third quarter. We lost their shooters a little bit there, but they were getting downhill too easy in the start of the third quarter. Called a quick timeout. Just didn't love us getting back and showing that crowd that we did in the first half. Obviously, if we hold them to 47 in the first half, we'd like to duplicate that somewhat in the second half, if not one solid quarter.
Ime, thank you.
Thank you.
A look at that final score from inside of TD Garden, 110-107. The Celtics fall to the Bucks in Game 5.